Shedding could soon become a thing of the past in the Western Cape as the province moves closer to energy independence. Last week, the provincial government launched its Municipal Energy Resilience Fund. It aims to help municipalities that would like to get energy from renewable sources, therefore turning their backs on Eskom. So far, the fund has received commitments of 13 million rand and over 100 individual projects are in line for the funding. The DA in the province says it welcomes the move. For more on this, we are joined by DA MP Kevin Mileham. Kevin, thanks a lot for joining us. Let's start off with that 13 million rand. What does that go towards?
Good morning, Tapfuma. Good morning, Annika. So that 13 million rand fund, which was launched by my colleague in the provincial legislature, David Mania, last week, goes to assisting municipalities to prepare their electricity master plans and to do the necessary cost of supply studies to make sure that they are ready and able to take up energy independence and to source power from independent power producers as soon as possible.
Realistically, Kevin, how soon will we see some of the projects that have been greenlit going into full operation?
So you may well be aware that the city of Cape Town, for example, has been working on sourcing power from independent power producers for quite some time. And they took the Minister of Energy to court over a number of years from about 2016. The court decided last year that it needed to be resolved through an intergovernmental dispute mechanism. And so that has moved out of the courts now and is being resolved there. But they have been working for a number of years to source the supply of electricity from independent power producers. Other municipalities like Stellenbosch, George, Drakenstein have all been working feverishly to obtain independence from Eskom. So their plans are very far advanced. Obviously, there's a lot of preparatory work. There's licensing. There's technical specs that have to be sorted out. Then it goes out to bid. And people will then put in tenders for supplying and providing that electricity. But right now, this is getting all the preparatory work done. So realistically, you're looking at somewhere in the region of about 2 years before you'll see that electricity coming online in most municipalities, or in those municipalities that are able to deal with it.
In total, how much power generating capacity are we talking about?
It's difficult to say. Each municipality has different needs, but essentially you're looking at several municipalities, smaller municipalities, and then obviously the city of Cape Town in the short term. City of Cape Town, easily 2 to 3 gigawatts of electricity. The smaller municipalities probably in total in the same ballpark.
Let's talk about independence from Eskom. Once these projects come on board in the next 2 years, does this mean total independence from Eskom? Does that mean that the Western Cape will not have to rely on Eskom at all?
Remember that this is on a municipality by municipality basis, and there are some 30 plus municipalities in the Western Cape. So not all of those municipalities are financially and technically able to do this, although obviously that would be the goal in the longer term. But in the short term, you're looking at some municipalities getting some degree of independence from Eskom and alleviating load shedding. So we've already seen over a number of years that the city of Cape Town, for example, is able to, when the rest of the country is at, for example, stage 2 load shedding, to only go to stage 1 because they have pumped storage schemes that allow them to store electricity and then use it when load shedding is implemented. Some of that would be initial steps in some of these municipalities to enable them to obtain some degree of independence, and ultimately longer term to obtain full independence or full self-reliance. Let's put it like that they're not completely reliant on a dysfunctional state-owned entity to supply their power.
Kevin, there's about 100, if I'm correct, about 100 projects that are in the pipeline at the moment. Of those, are they all renewable energy, and which form of renewable energy seems to be the most dominant?
So let's be very clear. What was put out was a request for proposals. It was to gauge essentially what the market sentiment is towards us, to see whether there was interest and what sort of propositions would be put on the table. Those proposals are very, very wide-ranging, different projects, different types of energy. Some of them are storage projects, some of them are generation projects. And so, there's no preponderance of one over another, but they are very, very strongly renewable focused. Obviously, that's something that the DA and the Western Cape are very much behind. We're very aware of the impact of climate change, and we want to be less reliant on fossil fuels to power our energy generation going forward.
Kevin, thanks a lot for joining us. That was DAMP Kevin Mileham speaking about the Western Cape's push to drive renewable energy and become independent of Eskom eventually.